Separate but equal. Is that really true in today's society? Hi, I'm James Randolph.
And I'm Daniel Scarnavack. UCLA's Civil Rights Project researched school segregation 60 years after Brown versus Board of Education ruled separate but equal schooling unconstitutional. School segregation is judged by the exposure or isolation, typically in schools that are highly populated of a single race, and the unevenness of racial diversity in a school.
The NAACP brought lawsuits to courts since the 1930s arguing that separate is not equal and that every student deserves the same first-class education. In 1954, segregation was outlawed. Since then, American schools have been trying to integrate diversity into their student bodies. Although this problem was supposed to be fixed with the Civil Rights Act, it is still a huge issue that is prevalent in today's society.
Also in the study, it demonstrates how the Black-White Exposure Index peaked in 1988 and has been on a rapid decline to the numbers before the 1970s. This means that there is more segregation in the lives of students today.
In an article published by Bishop John R. Scowell, he discussed that the education system has become increasingly segregated. But from 2010 to 2016, an additional 20,000 children of color started attending schools that are more than 99% Black or Latino. More than 80% of Black and Latino students attending segregated schools come from low-income families and are often unable to receive a high-quality education.
Segregation of schools can affect all people in the education system. The students who are segregated in a school don't get the same opportunities and experiences that others receive. This can perpetuate poverty and make it more difficult for those students to get jobs. Because of this, housing discrimination still exists in today's society. Exposure to multiple cultures and races in childhood will increase a child's tolerance and understanding for others outside of the cultural norm.
The NEA, or National Education Association, fights for equal schooling for all students, regardless of their race, socioeconomic background, or city. They fight for experienced, well-trained teachers and equal opportunities for everyone. They believe all students should have the same shot at success. The ACLU, or American Civil Liberties Union, works to defend and preserve the individual rights that the laws of the United States guarantee.
There are also many negative effects that come with school segregation. Research shows that growing up in a heavily segregated schools affects everything from your education level, your furniture earning, your future earnings, and your happiness to your health and ultimately your life plan. This injustice becomes a life issue and violates the Catholic social teaching principle of the life and dignity of a human person. One possible cause for this issue is the fact that schools are allowed to redraw the borders for the school districts. This action leads to residential segregation since many kids are going to schools that are nearest to them. In doing this, it not only adds segregation to our schools, but also to our communities.
Another issue that can come from the systemic segregation of schools is employment. Often kids who go to schools of minorities don't have the same opportunities of classes to take, which can hold them back from their full learning capabilities. Of schools that are predominantly Black and Latino, only 74% offer Algebra 2 and only 66% offer chemistry. In doing this, it sets the kids up for little to no college scholarships, which leads to many kids not even attending college. Without a college education, it restricts a lot of job opportunities for these kids, which ultimately leads back to the cycle of poverty, which seems so hard to escape. That's all we have today, folks.